Good afternoon. This is my bag speech where I plan to sum up my life with 3 items. I plan to focus on things that have had a positive impact on my life and help me avoid focusing on the negatives. I plan to give you an opportunity to get to know me better by telling you about my past, my present, and my future and how they form my outlook on life. I have noticed throughout my life how some folks have focused on the negative aspects of life. I've always tried to focus on the positives, even when things seemed pretty bad. As a teenager, I was raised by parents who beat and berated me often, but I was still able to find a positive light in my life, which happened to be my grandfather. My grandfather had given me a cast iron bank, which I used as a symbol of happiness and a positive point in my life. So what I'm going to do to represent my past is I'm going to use this cast iron bank to represent my past life. Like I said, this was given to me by my grandfather when I was about 10 years old, and I've held on to it for over 40 years as a symbol of my past. I've owned a lot of items throughout my life, but this is one of the few items that's had the greatest value and cost me nothing to own it. Some of the happiest times of my life is when I spent my summer at my grandfather's house and spent time with him. I always looked forward to that time with him because when I spent my time with him, I was able to be happy and feel like I was a child and felt safe. As a child, I always felt that my father had derived his happiness from beating and berating me. This old metal bank would help me find that positive look in my life. My past is what taught me how to love and cherish my present life. When I look at my present life, I use this piece of stained glass to represent my present life. And this simple piece of glass just says, "I love you" on it. This piece of glass was given to me by my wife over 36 years ago, and it represents the most positive impact on my life. It also represents to me about how strong love and happiness is, but how fragile it can be when you compare it to glass. The two of us have built a positive and happy life together. We've spent our life choosing to focus on the positives, even when things seemed negative and didn't look very good for us. We believe that things happen for a reason, and even if at first it seemed like it's going to have a negative outcome. Today, my present life is filled with happiness and positive thoughts and prepared me to share this with the future. When I view the future, I use this picture of my 4 grandsons to represent the future. And what I have as desire is to have a positive impact on their lives. I plan to teach them they can control happiness by focusing on positive outcomes of their life in all situations. I also want to teach them to try to keep positive people in their lives and keep negative people out of their lives. I also want to teach them, if all possible, that they need to love and respect all people that are important in their lives, and I also want to teach them how they should love themselves. I hope that you have learned that by choosing to be positive has influenced my past, continues to influence my present, and will always influence my future. I personally believe you can choose to be happy, and we should all practice focusing on what is happy instead of focusing on the negative and bad things in our life. We should try to surround ourselves with positive people. If you're surrounded by positive people, it's easy to remain positive. It is your life. You can choose to be positive and embrace happiness, or you can choose to be bitter and negative. Please take the time to learn how to love your own life. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my speech.